I was thinking today we'd do a little bit of core work, breathing as usual, and then we'd work our way to the half moon poses. We haven't done those for a while, Ardha Chandrasana and the revolved version. A challenge for some people, they're a challenging balance pose. And I always say if it's difficult to get into the pose in the center of the room, do it against a wall. Start off in warrior two against the wall and you've got support there. It makes it a little bit easier, trains the body. We'll start off on our backs and let's do a little bit of breathing work, and then we're going to work on the legs and progress from there. So you're on your back, feet are on the ground, knees are bent. Close the eyes just like you would in Shavasana and listen to the breath. Keep your attention on the breath. Breathing in and out through the nose, long, slow, deep inhales. Exhale through the nose. Try and make that exhale just as long as the inhale. So keep the feet on the ground, knees bent, and just take the arms, well, they can stay on the belly if you want, or either side of you on the ground. And we're just taking the knees over from side to side. So you might want to take the feet a little bit wider as you take the knees from side to side, just like windshield wipers. You want to try and move with the breath. Going pretty slow. I usually inhale as I come up, exhale down. Well, it doesn't matter what you do. Maybe I do the opposite. Yeah, inhale up, exhale down. That's how I like to breathe in this one. This is a good one for waking the hips up and the back. It strengthens the back and it brings a little bit of mobility to the hips. A little bit more challenging windshield wiper. So you can try this if you want, or you can keep going with the feet on the ground. Now in this one we're going to keep 90 degrees between the legs and the torso at all times. We take the legs out a little bit wider, and then we take the legs halfway down, back up, and then over to the other side. We're just going from side to side. We do this quite often, and the arms and the hands pushing into the ground help you go down slow, so you will need to go slow, and they'll help you bring those legs back up. Going far enough so you're having to work a little bit, but not so far that it's too much of a challenge. Just from side to side with the breath. And at all times I'm trying to keep the legs at that 90, so I'm not, as they come over to the side, I'm not bringing them away from the body. I'm trying to keep that 90-degree angle at all times. Back to center, and then we bring the feet back down to the ground. Bring up one leg to the ceiling, holding onto the back of the leg. Let's just work on the feet a little bit. Point towards the ceiling with the toes, and then towards the face. Point and flex. We'll do that a few times. And then just rotate the foot in one direction. Making circles with the toes in the air. Circle in the other direction. And then point and flex again a few times. And we switch legs, holding onto the back of the other leg, pointing the toes towards the ceiling, then the face. So it's actually a plantar flexion and then a dorsiflexion, point and flex. Circle, one direction, and then in the other direction. Let's do a little bit of isometric exercises, strengthening the legs. So the knees are going to come in. We take the hands, the palm of the hands either side of the legs, there's a gap between the legs, and we're going to try and push the legs closer and closer. The legs are resisting, you're breathing, you're not holding the breath. Working those arms as much as you can. And then we make fists with the hands. Fists are inside the thighs this time, just below the knees. And we try and separate the legs. Again, the legs resist. Arms working a lot. You breathing. And then we take hold of the back of the legs. This time we're trying to pull the legs in closer. Again, they're resisting. And then the hands onto the front of the thighs, palms again just below the knees. This one is a little bit more challenging, I think. As you push the legs away, a lot of arm strength, but you're also using the core. You're pushing the lower back into the ground, so the core is working, ab muscles are working all the time on this one. Breathe. And then release. Bring both feet back down to the ground. Keep the right foot on the ground. Bring the outer of the left ankle onto the right leg. So we're going to push that left leg away. Now this time we're trying to relax the hip. We're trying to soften the hip. We're just trying to open the inside of the hip a little bit. The foot that's closest to you is flexed, dorsiflexion. You're softening the hip, you're just letting it open. Pushing the leg away with the hand. You want to try and work with the body, with the breath. And we release. We switch, keeping the other foot on the ground, the leg close to you, outer ankle onto that lower leg. And you flex the foot, you try and soften the hip, and you're just pushing open a little bit, using the breath. Inhale, exhale. Maybe you can open up that hip a little bit more. Switch legs again. Now this time we're pulling the legs in, so it's a reclined pigeon. So we're taking hold of the back. So I've got my left ankle, outer ankle on my right leg, so I'm pulling the right leg in, pulling the legs in closer, flexing the foot that's close to me. At the same time I'm trying to keep the tailbone nice and low to the ground. And then I'm just going to rock from side to side, just giving the back a little bit of a massage. And then just become still, hold it, a couple more breaths. Trying to pull the legs in a little bit closer, feeling the stretch on the outside of the hip on this one. And then we're going to switch to the other side, outer of the other ankle onto the left leg for me, pulling the legs in, activating the foot that's close to you, trying to get the tailbone lower. So as you pull in, you're trying to get the tailbone down, so you're not sort of pulling the whole body in, rounding the back, you've got those opposite forces, you're trying to get the tailbone low. It might not happen, but that's the intent. And then we just rock side to side, getting a little bit of a back massage, keeping the back happy. And then we release. We pull both knees in, we take hold of the back of both legs, we rock ourselves up into boat. Any back issues, this is your pose. You're holding onto the legs. If your back is good, you can release the legs. If you feel strong and you can keep the back neutral, you can start straightening the legs and you can bring them a little bit higher. You're opening the chest, you're breathing. We start to lower so the legs are a few inches off the ground. You support the head with the hands. You pushing the lower back into the ground. This is a lot of core work. Again, if it bothers the back, come out of the pose. And breathe. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We pull the knees in. We roll ourselves up. And we come onto our hands and knees. And we do cat-cow a few times. Inhale, belly down, head up. Exhale, round in the back, tucking the chin. Inhaling into cow, exhale, cat. Warming up the spine, getting some mobility, trying to get a bit of space between the vertebrae on this one. Next time you're in cat, hold the pose. Make sure the wrists are directly under, the heel of the hands is directly underneath the shoulders. Head is totally relaxed. And you're pulling the belly in towards the spine. You're breathing. Then we come into cow. And then what we're going to do, so I'm dropping the belly, lifting the head up, and I'm gluing, cementing the hands and knees to the ground, and I'm trying to pull those hands in a little bit closer, and you're going to feel like working that core. Breathe. We take the back into neutral, and then we bring up one arm. I'm bringing up the right arm, thumb up towards the ceiling, and I'm trying to lift that hand a little bit higher than the shoulder, and I'm lunging a little bit more forward. Again, it's working the core. Hopefully it doesn't bother the wrist. Problem with your lunge forward, it puts more angle on the wrist. Fine for me, so hopefully it's fine for you. Add the opposite leg if you want, still lunging forward. Trying to keep both the hips equidistant to the ground. And then we switch. Just start off with the opposite arm first, lifting the arm pretty high. Lunge the body a little bit more forward. Breathe, you're not holding the breath. We bring up the opposite leg, keep lunging forward. And then we bring that hand down. We come into Sphinx, lying face down. Elbows under the shoulders. We make fists with the hands. We tuck the toes. We bring those hips up into neutral. You're looking directly below you, between the arms. Don't sink between the shoulder blades. Knees down if you need to. If you can hold it, that's good. If you want more challenge, one leg comes up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We switch, other leg up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We walk the knees underneath the hips. Make sure the elbows are no wider than shoulders. Palms together. Tuck the toes. Dolphin. So I'm going to keep the knees bent, at least to begin with. That helps to keep the back neutral, makes it easier to keep the back neutral. I'm pushing the forearms, especially the elbows, into the ground, so the head is not on the ground. And then I'm trying to push push the mat away, straightening that line out from the elbows through the shoulders to the hips. If your head is touching the ground, try and pull it away from the ground. Maybe your elbows are out too far. Maybe that's the problem. If you're still touching the ground, I guess it's just the way you're built. Just do what you can. And then we bring the knees down. We come into child's pose. Take a little breather. Back on your hands and knees. Thread the needle. So I'm going to take my right arm behind my left arm. I'm resting on my right arm, the right side of the face. Pushing the left hand into the ground, elbow towards the ceiling. You can hold it here, or you can bring up that left arm behind the back, reaching for the inside of the opposite thigh. Opening up, adding a little bit more of a twist. We switch, coming back onto our hands and knees, and then thread the needle on the other side. Threading the left arm behind the right. Pushing the right hand into the ground, elbow towards the ceiling. And then we bring that right arm up, behind the back, reaching for the inside of the thigh. We unwind. We're back on our hands and knees. Tuck the toes, we come into downward facing dog. We bring the feet a little bit closer, we start walking the dog, bending one knee as we straighten the opposite leg. Stretching out the calf muscles, the hamstrings. For me, it's the calf muscles. We bring the right leg up to the ceiling, extended down dog, inhaling. And on the exhale, see if you can touch the right elbow with the right knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee towards the left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee towards the chin. Inhale, extend. We switch legs, inhaling as the other leg comes up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to chin. Inhale, extend. Top foot joins the bottom foot. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale as you fold forward. Bend the knees, coming into chair. And then we come all the way up into a standing position. So we're just going to do a little bit of flow. Start off in the sun salutation A, then we'll add warrior poses as we progress. So come to the front of the mat. Inhale as you sweep those arms up, looking up. Exhale, hinging forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we walk into plank. We bring the knees down, we bring the chin, chest forward and down. Inhaling into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. We hold down dog for a few breaths. While you're holding down dog, when you bring the chest down and forward, you really want to keep those elbows in. You're trying to keep those elbows in as you come into cobra. If you have any shoulder issues, I would suggest that little flow. If your shoulders are good and if you have the strength, you could do chaturanga and up dog, but it can potentially put more stress on the shoulders if you go into chaturanga. So take the easier version, but really keep those elbows in. Try not to shrug those shoulders up, so you keep pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Bring the knees down. So basically, as the knees come down, what I do is I try and turn the inside of the elbows towards the front of the mat. Then I'm bringing the chin chest forward and down, just a little bit more forward than down, and inhaling into Cobra. Cobra, elbows are bent. And you don't want to shrug the shoulders up like this. You're trying to open those shoulders. If this is tough as well, you could just do Sphinx. Make it easy for yourselves. Down dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Knees bent. We're in chair. And then we come all the way up. One more. Inhale into chair. We'll start off in chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Knees down, chin chest forward and down. Inhaling into Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths. We look forward. We walk forward between the hands. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Knees bent. We're back in chair. And then we come into mountain. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We walk into plank. Knees down, chin chest forward and down. Inhaling into Cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in Warrior One. So we're going to add a little bit of a back bend if you want. When I do the back bend, I interlace the fingers. I point the index finger towards the ceiling. And I lean backward, looking up. Breathe. If you're not doing the back bend, typically my arms will be parallel to each other and I'm looking straight ahead. We come back into plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in Warrior One on the other side. Taking a little bit of back bend maybe. Breathe. That back leg is strong. We come back into plank. And let's hold plank. Good core work. Plank, I know nobody loves the planks, but they are really good for the core. Keeping the back neutral. If it bothers the wrists, you could be on the make fists with the hands, or you could do the forearm plank. Side plank. Bring the right hand to center. Stack the feet. Stack the arms. Top foot can be down in front of your bottom knee down. Push into the ground. Reach up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Side plank other side. We transition into plank. And then side plank. Take whichever option suits you. Really push into that ground. Reach up towards the ceiling. Back into plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Look forward. Walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward. Knees bent. We're back in chair. And then we come all the way up. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in Warrior One. Maybe a little back bend. And then we exhale into Warrior Two. Lines of energy through the arms. Maybe a little deeper, walking the front foot a little bit further forward. Keeping the knee lined up with the ankle, shoulders soft. Reverse warrior. And then we flow to the other side. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. into warrior one, a little bit of a backward bend, and then into warrior two, and reverse warrior, and we come into plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog, and just hold down dog for a few breaths. And then we look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, knees bent, and we're back in chair, and then we come into mountain. So we're going to work our way to half moon pose, and then the revolved version of half moon. As I say, if this is a challenge in the center of room, you could do it against the wall, have the support of the wall. A block might be handy as well. Start off in chair. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We walk into plank. Chaturanga, elbows in. Upward facing dog. Look up. Downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. Inhale into warrior one. Exhale into warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale into half moon. You're reaching for the block is in front. You're trying to get the arm, the leg parallel, and then you stack the legs. You stack the arms, you activate that top foot. You pushing the heel out, toes come in, you're breathing. Try not to drop the head. We come back into warrior two. Reverse warrior. And then we flow to the other side. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. Inhaling into warrior one. Exhale into warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, coming into half moon. This time I'm going to skip the block. I've just got my fingers on the ground. But I'm trying to get a straight line from that top foot. So I have to lift that leg up a little bit higher. And I'm stacking everything. Top hand is nicely lined up with the palm. And then we come out. Let's go back into warrior two. Reverse warrior. Plank. You'll have another chance to do this. Up dog, down dog, and come into child's pose a few breaths. Downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, knees bent. And we're back into chair, and then we come all the way up. So we're going to do that flow again. We'll do half moon. So your body's all geared up, you know exactly what to do. But we're going to add the revolved version. If you remember, the revolved version is from warrior two, and we sweep that back hand. So we can add the twist. And you can have that bottom hand on the block if you need to. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Take your time. Chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog. Looking up. Exhale, down dog. Engaging the core as you transition. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through, inhaling into Warrior One. Exhale into Warrior Two. Inhale, Reverse Warrior. Exhale into Half Moon. So I'm reaching for the block, or you can just have your hands on the floor. Don't drop the head. You're stacking the arms. You're breathing. So I'm trying to get a rectangle between the standing leg, the bottom arm, the ribs and the mat. You're breathing, trying to hold the balance. If you want a little bit of variation, you can take hold of that top foot and push it into the hand, opening up. Release the foot. Another variation is to bring that bottom hand to the heart. We come back into Warrior Two. It's a challenging balance pose, and as I say, do it against the wall if it's difficult in the centre of the room. The revolved version, we go into Reverse Warrior, and then through Warrior Two, and we sweep that back hand, bring it in front of you, but it's slightly towards the inside of the foot this time, and it could be on the block again. And then we open up in the opposite direction, adding the twist. Again, you've got a rectangle between the arm, the leg, the ribs and the floor. But we're trying to open up, we're trying to stack things, opening up the chest, we're breathing. And we release, and we come back as elegantly as we can into Warrior Two. Reverse Warrior, plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, hold down dog. And then we bring up the left leg and we sweep that foot through. Warrior One, inhaling. Exhale, Warrior Two. Inhale, Reverse Warrior. Exhale into Half Moon. So my hand is in front of the foot, slightly to the outside of the foot. I'm bringing that leg up, trying to straighten the leg, straightening the top leg, lifting the leg up, stacking everything, breathing. Don't drop the head. And if you want a little bit of variation, you can hold on to the top foot, open up, and you breathe. Or you can bring that bottom hand to the heart, maybe. Balance is a bit of a challenge. And then we come back out of the pose into Warrior Two, Reverse Warrior, and then we do the revolved version. So we sweep that back hand. Again, it's in front of the foot, but this time on the inside of the foot. And we open up, adding the twist. The revolution, the revolved version, Ardha Chandrasana, Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana. We come out of the pose, we try and get back into Warrior Two, Reverse Warrior, and then plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. And I think we need a little bit of a break here. Come into child's pose, totally relax. But don't get too comfortable. Come back on your hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, knees bent. Come into chair, stay in chair. So we're going to add a chair twist. So I'm going to twist to the right. So I'm bringing the outer of my left arm onto the outer of that right leg. And I take my time here. Then I bring the palms together, elbow up towards the ceiling. We look at the feet. We're going to ground that right foot, and we're going to see if we can take the left leg back into a crescent twist. Then I'm going to lower the knee. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to try and get a little deeper into that twist. So I'm pushing my right hand into my thigh so I can get my other arm a little bit lower, getting to a little bit of a deeper twist, if you want. Then back into the high lunge twist, the crescent twist, and breathe. We slowly lower the knee. We bring the hands either side of the front foot. We come into plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. We look forward, we jump or walk forward between the hands. Inhaling halfway up, exhale folding forward. We're back in chair. Stay in chair. I'm just going to switch so you can see what I'm up to. So we're all in chair, and then we twist to the left. So you bring the outer of the right arm onto the outer of the left leg. Use the other hand to assist. And then we bring the palms together. We then look at the feet. We take the right foot back into a high lunge twist, and we slowly lower that knee so that we can then get into a little deeper twist. If you want, if it feels good, then back into the crescent twist and take a few breaths. We lower the knee, hands either side of the front foot, plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog, hold down dog, 3 or 4 breaths. Making a good down dog, pushing the thumb index finger into the ground, armpits towards the ground. You're looking between the legs. You're trying to keep the back neutral. Bending the knees if you need to. If you can keep the back neutral with the legs straight, that would be good. Then you can try and start bringing the heels closer to the ground. Eventually the heels are going to touch the ground, back is neutral. You're breathing, working those arms. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward, knees bent. We're back into chair, and then we come all the way up. So that variation of half moon, where we're doing this guy and holding onto the leg, a little bit similar to dancer's pose, I think. So let's work our way to dancer pose after doing tree. Let's come to a standing position. So you ground the right foot, bring the left foot inside that standing leg. Make sure it's inside the leg and it's not against the knee joint. So it's either above or below the knee. Ideally above the knee. You can feel those quads working. You open up the chest, you relax the shoulders, and you bring the arms up whenever you're ready. So this pose is going to strengthen the leg. You're getting a hip opening, you're having to focus just to keep the balance. For those that would like to go into dancer pose, you bring the hands down, you take hold of that top foot, you can take hold of the outside of the foot or the inside, you then push the foot into the hand as much as you're reaching the other arm forward. Try not to let the leg splay out. Keep that top leg midline. As you hinge forward, keep pushing that foot into the hand, reaching forward. Just go slow. That'll help you keep the balance, and breathe. And then we slowly come out as best you can. Dancer pose, challenge. Tree, other side. You're on the left foot. Right foot is inside the standing leg. Skin on skin is good. More friction, foot doesn't slide down. We bring the palms together, then we can just focus on relaxing the shoulders, opening the collarbone, arms up whenever you're ready. You breathe. Stay in tree or come into dancer pose, taking hold of that top foot so you don't let that leg splay out like this. Keep those legs in, keep it into midline, push into that hand, reach forward with the other arm. So my top hand is sort of in line with my forehead, the front hand. I'm pushing into that back hand, I'm hinging forward slowly. I'm pushing that foot into the hand, lifting it up. Eventually you're going to see that foot appear above the head, maybe. And then we come out of the pose and we shake everything out. Move those shoulders, whatever feels good. So we've done a bit of shoulder opener, done lots of chair, so I think we're ready for eagle today. We extend the arms to the side. We bring, let me think about this because I'm doing the mirror image. We bring the right arm under the left arm. And we get either the back of the hands fairly close, or you bring the fingers of one hand into the palm of the other hand. You then sit into chair. And then you bring the right leg on top of the left leg. You're bending the knee of the standing leg, and if your knee is good, maybe you can hook that foot. Once you're there, you try and center the arms, you lift the arms up a little bit, and you sink a little deeper, sitting a little deeper, and breathe. And we come out of the pose and we shake everything out. Interesting pose. Everything's going on in that pose. Shoulder opener, hip opener, balance. Arms out to the side. We bring the left arm under the right arm. We come into chair. We bring the left leg on top of the right leg. We squeeze those. You have to squeeze those legs together to get any chance of trying to hook that foot. Sometimes the foot hooks, sometimes it doesn't. Don't let it bother the knee. If you have poor knees, don't hook the foot. Once you're there, you lift the arms up, you sit a little lower and breathe. And we release. So you usually find one side easier than the other side. That was my easy side. We shake out, moving those shoulders. We interlace the hands and we're pulling the shoulders down, shoulder blades together, and we're going to hinge with the knees bent. We're hinging forward. We relax the head, soften the shoulders. And if they let you bring the arms up a bit higher, go for it. If not, just keep the arms low. Totally relax the head. You can nod yes, you can nod no. Soften the shoulders again. Maybe back off. Bring the arms a little lower, softening the shoulders, and then see if you can go a little deeper. So working with the body, we're working with the breath. And then we bend the knees more, we lower the arms, and we slowly come up. Inhaling as the arms come up. Exhale as we bring the arms either side back into mountain. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the knees down. Sit on the heels. Slide the hands behind you so the fingers are lined up with the toes. Chin is tucked. We open the chest. Head goes back carefully. If you have any neck issues, maybe don't take the head back. Really open the chest and maybe bring the hips up off the heels. Feel the whole front body opening. Feel that expansion. Should feel good. We bring the sit bones down. We slide the hands forward. We come into downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in a low lunge. Hands on that front knee. If you want, you can bring the arms up. You can get a little deeper. Bring the hands back down. So this is going to stretch out the psoas, the front muscle that connects the lower part of the body to the upper part of the body. If you want to stretch it out a little bit more, if you want to and it's possible, you can take hold of that back foot and pull the foot in towards you. You can use one hand or you can use both hands, whatever. We release. We come into lizard. We're bringing the forearms onto the mat or a block, or you can just have the hands on the ground. Another nice hip opener here. And just hang out. Tuck the toes of the back foot, bring the back knee off the ground. We lower the knee. We bring the hands either side of the front foot. We walk that foot forward an inch or two. On the exhale, we start extending the leg. Inhale into lunge. Exhale as we extend. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, extend. And we're going to hold the extension. We're walking the hands a little closer. I'm on my fingertips. I can touch the ground. Some people can't touch the ground. Maybe you have blocks here. Just stretching out the back of the leg. Nothing too intense. Eventually that front leg is going to be straight and you're engaging those quads. Toes, kneecap up towards the ceiling. If you need to bend the knee, bend the knee. Some people like to fold forward. If you fold forward, keep contact between the belly and the leg. We come back into the lunge, plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're back in a low lunge. Another thing I do here is it's almost like my foot is glued to the mat, but I'm trying to pull the foot in closer to that knee. And then arms come up. And you can hang out with the arms up or the hands on the knee, or if you want, you can take hold of the back leg with one hand or both hands. And you can pull that foot in towards you. Let's try it with both hands. Get a really deep quad stretch on that one. Hands down, Lizard, forearms to the ground, or you can have them on a block or the hands on the floor. Bring those, tuck the toes, bring the back knee up for a few breaths. Lower the knee, walk the foot forward. Exhale, extend the leg. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, extend. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, extend. Hold the extension, walk the hands in a little bit closer, and just find a relatively enjoyable hamstring stretch. We're back into the lunge. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Sit on the heels, lean over and come onto your back. If you have a block handy, that would be nice. So that we go, I'm going to switch, otherwise the sun is right in my eyes. Come onto your back, feet on the ground, knees bent. So we're going to go into a restorative bridge. It's almost like Shavasana, but you're on the block. If you don't have a block, if you want to just relax here, you can with the knees bent just like this. As you inhale, push the lower back into the ground, engage the core, and bring those hips up. So that's all on the inhale, coming up into bridge. We then slide the block. I have the block at half height, and I'm just going to put it under my sacrum and bring my arms either side. Keeping the chin tucked so the neck is neutral, and just totally relax. Restorative bridge. Stay in restorative bridge. So what you can do if you want, you can bring the heels up and turn the block onto its full height. And then you're resting on the block again. So the block, sacrum is still on the block. My block is pretty firm, so I can release the block. If yours is a soft block, keep hold of it. Keep the gaze towards the ceiling, and then you can bring the legs up, coming into a little bit of an inversion. This should be very comfortable. And we can just hang out here. We then bring the feet down onto your toes, lift the hips up and put the block to one side. Pull the knees in nice and close and just rock from side to side. Take a full body stretch, legs extended, arms reaching over the head, getting as much length as you can, pulling the hips away from the feet, trying to pull the back away from the hips. So it's like a little caterpillar action. What I do is I push the heels into the ground, lift my hips up and try and pull them away from the feet. Then I push my head into the ground, lift my back up and pull that away. Finally, head up, tuck the chin, lower the head. Little bit of a side stretch, getting into a banana shape, stretching out one side of the body. And then we stretch out the other side. And then we recenter and come into Shavasana, bringing the arms either side of you, palms facing up, eyes closed, and totally relax. Maybe moisten the lips. Just feel yourself sinking into the ground. It's almost like you're trying to become one with the earth, keeping your attention on the breath. Start to take deeper breaths. Start to move, start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Stretch out the toes, stretch out the hands. Stretch them out as much as you can. And relax. Stretch out again, the toes, the hands. And relax. One more time, stretching out the toes and the hands. Stretch them even more, much as you can, and relax. Walk the feet in and roll over to your side. Eyes closed. Take about 3 or 4 breaths. And then slowly, gently push yourself into a seated position. Inhale as you bring the arms up, keeping the palms together. Exhale as they come down. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 or 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Keeping the palms together, hands to the forehead. Namaste.